Hi, my name is Bernice Hemmings, and I am the founder of the New Agent Academy for Success. I teach basically new agents how to set up and run their business, set up their business systems for marketing and for managing their processes. And I am doing this video to teach new and existing agents how to run Facebook ads on your own. You do not have to pay somebody big dollars for running a Facebook ads. Now, eventually, once you're successful, you got a lot of success going and you want to pay somebody to do that, that's fine. But as you get started with it, you can do it yourself. And it's not as hard as a lot of people make it out to be. And I also recommend too that anybody who's going to pay somebody to do something, that you understand the basics behind it so that you don't get scammed and you don't get taken advantage of. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to assume that maybe you have boosted a post in the past on your Facebook page. My dog is running around. Go lay down. That you've boosted an ad on a page before, but this is different. And this is using the Facebook Ad Manager. You're going to get a lot more flexibility and you'll be able to totally design your ad from scratch, which is a good thing because I'm going to show you some ways that you can really benefit from that. I will tell you the only time you might want to boost a post is if it's a post that you made and it has gotten good engagement. Say that for whatever it was, it has gotten a lot of likes, a lot of comments. If you want to expand on that, you can boost it from there. But other than that, don't use boost. It's much better, and you'll have much better use of your money by using the Ad Manager. So I just want to take a minute and introduce myself. And if you have not set up a business account through Facebook, you'll need to do that. In the email that this should be with, that this recording will be attached to, I will have some instructions and there'll be a link there too. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And then let me minimize myself. Move this over. All right. So once you set up Business Manager for your page, it's going to look like this. And you're going to want to click into the ad account. But first, I want to show you up here. You'll have to, if you have set up and done boosting before, your card may be on file. If you have not, you will need to go into the billing and you will have to add a card number. And Facebook is going to put a limit on you at first, and it's usually about $25. And they'll only every time you hit that $25, they will charge your card. But you have that on file, and you're going to totally get to set your budget. But the other thing you can do is you can set an ad spending limit, an account spending limit. And what this does is if you, this is for yourself. If you forget about an ad, then you can make sure that it doesn't just keep charging you and keep charging your card, because it'll hit this limit and it'll send you a notice and let you know that you've hit the limit. But that's a good thing to have. Also know that every time once you've been doing ads, they'll increase your ad limit for how often they'll charge your card. So it'll go up. So like mine now is, I think mine's like $500 because I've been doing this a good bit. So you'll need to go in and set that up. And then, so that'll take you to your ad accounts here. Well, hold on, Ads Manager. Now to show you where you get to this on an everyday basis once you've set it up, if you go to your Facebook page and you click here, and then you'll click Get Business Manager there and it'll take you to it. You can also click Create Ads there and it'll take you to that as well. So, so we're here in the Ads Manager, and there's a couple of things I want to explain to you, and I'm keeping this kind of basic. So because this is for beginning people to learn to run ads and use Ads Manager. First of all, let me say that Ads Manager has a ton of stuff here, and I don't know what 80% of it is, and you don't have to either to be successful with this. You just need to know the basics. And if you are, if you really get going and you want to increase your budget, you want to have a bunch of ads going, and you want to do split testing for A and B and do all kinds of things, then you go for it. But I'm not going to get into all that. There's no need for most agents to have that. By that point, you may want to have an ads manager, a physical person, or a company to do it for you. But just know that most of this, I don't know what it is either. You can do all kinds of reports and columns and all that, and I don't do that. I don't get into that. I do want to show you this here. Every ad that you run it's basically 3-tiered, and I don't worry about that. And there are reasons for it, and it has to do with using the same ad in different audiences and things like that. And if you want to do that eventually, that's fine. But so technically you have a campaign, you can have multiple ad sets and multiple ads. For the purpose of what we're doing, it's going to be one campaign, one ad set, one ad. So the first thing I want to show you is I'm going to show you what it looks like when we start an ad. So I'm going to hit create. And it's going to ask you, oh, no, start over. Don't want to go there. Start over. I was in the middle of an ad, so it wanted to go back to that. So one of the first things, and if you did receive the pre-emails, the pre-work emails that I sent you for this this class, one of the things I wanted to ask you was what did you want to advertise? What is your purpose? Are you just wanting to get likes, which is not a really great reason for doing this, but you can do an ad for likes. I just wouldn't spend a lot of money doing that. If you want to do that, maybe get your page over 200 likes, that's fine, but don't make a big deal about that. It doesn't have to be huge. So these here on the left are more about awareness, and I would not consider using those. These over here on the right are conversion, and that has to do with having sales, actually selling something online or on your website and that sort of thing. So we don't need that either. These here in the middle are probably going to be more about what you're looking for. And so again, depending on what you are wanting, whether you're wanting somebody to see your ad and give you a call, whether you're sending somebody to a form to fill out, there are I know some of the brokerages have apps now, so you could possibly use this to get people to install your app. Videos are important. That's a whole nother thing, and we're not going to dig into that right now. Lead generation, that is a great option. I think it's great for real estate. It's a little more in-depth than I'm going to go into today, but I will probably do a class in the very near future on that, because basically what that does is you can create an ad and they have to fill out information that you request. So it's great for a CMA or something of that sort. So that's an option. And then you can also have them send you a message. So there are reasons why you might want to do that as well. Maybe if they're requesting a showing or whatever. So that's a possibility. But what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to create an ad for a listing. And so we're going to just do traffic. It could be so traffic is you're sending them off of Facebook. Engagement means they're liking, that sort of thing. So we're going to go to traffic, and then again down here, the campaign is going to have a name, then technically the ad set, and then the ad. But we're just going to put, we're just all going to make it the same. Test listing ad. You don't have to worry about any of this down here at the bottom. Don't need to get complicated with that. All right. I'm just going to change this again. Test listing. It'll all be the same. And then here where you want to send the traffic, we're going to choose website. Again, if you were doing an app, that you could choose that, or if you're doing Messenger, you could use that. But to get started with, we just want to do the website. Let's see here. So we're going to create a new audience. You can use a saved audience, and once you go through the targeting, once I show you how to use the targeting, you may use audiences, you may create an audience that you use over and over again, because maybe it's for a specific geographic area that you are farming or something of that sort. So you can save an audience, and then you can pull it back up here, use one in that. So let me just show you as well on here on the right-hand side. This is showing you your audience selection. So right now I've got 230 million people, everyone in the U.S. that's possibly on Facebook. So we're going to change that. So I'm actually going to run an ad for. I'm going to show an ad for an area in Covington, Georgia. So I'm going to put Covington, Georgia. And then I'm going to, you can choose by the number of miles. So I'm going to narrow it down a little bit. No, actually, yeah, I'm going to narrow it down just a little bit. You can go down to 10 miles from Covington. I'm going to maybe keep it about 15. That's just going to be something you're going to have to test. And you can look at the map too and just know what area you're trying to reach. I believe you can also drop a pin and choose a mileage from that, but I'm not going to get into that one today. So that just gives me an idea, because the house that I'm creating this ad for, it's actually in Covington. So I want to choose this area because most people who move to our area are from the a little bit extended area. So you don't want to, you might think if you cast a huge net, you're going to have more opportunity, but that's not really the case. You want to narrow it down because you want to make sure that you're going to pay for your ad to be seen by all those people. So I don't want to pay for people in, North Carolina to see an ad about my house in Covington, Georgia. So you can't hope that somebody's going to be moving from there. So you want to narrow it down. And then you'll see over here, this has taken me to 260,000 people. I'm still in the green up here. And this shows my estimated reach, meaning the number of people who will see the ad in a day, and then the possibility of the number of link clicks that I could get. So then we're gonna narrow it down a little bit more. And I want to talk here for just a second about fair housing, because I've had a lot of conversation with Facebook ad representatives who do work for real estate agents. And then, there's a lot, Facebook has actually been in the news about this. We would never ever create an ad that said, families with children or, something like that. We're not going to do that, but we can target certain people based upon life milestones. We're not going to target people based upon nationality. We're not going to target people based upon, race or religion or anything like that. And the only reason we're going to do it by age is just simply, it's really not by, it is sort of by age, but we're doing it by life milestones. So maybe we're doing, families with younger children. These are first-time home buyers. So you used to be able to target by home buyers, first-time home buyers, that sort of thing. You can't do that anymore. That is something they have taken away. So you do want to narrow it down to some degree. And based upon the area, based upon the, what the trends tend to be or whatever, you want to target certain segments of the population, but it's not because you are discriminating against anybody. That's like, something that's adult material, they're not going to advertise to everybody. In the advertising industry, you do have to narrow it down, but we're not discriminating against anybody. So in this situation, the house, so let me just say that maybe the house that I have chosen, I'm thinking it's more of a second level home. It's not necessarily a first time home buyer. So I would not, obviously not going to advertise to an 18-year-old, but I would probably say maybe 30. to 50. And again, you're not excluding other people from being able to buy this home. You're just saying who's going to see your ad. Then the other thing too, I don't know about you, but in most homes, the woman makes the decision. The woman is the one who says, oh, honey, let's move. Let's buy a new house. We're bursting at the seams. We need to move. 80% of the time, it's the women. So we're going to choose women. Now, language, I would not necessarily do that here because you do not want to exclude people who speak other languages. However, I will throw this in. If your language, if you are, you have a second language or English is your second language and you want to reach potential customers who speak Portuguese or who speak Spanish or who speak French, you can choose a language here and your ads will be shown to those people who have been known to say that, show that that's their language. It's not a discriminatory thing. It's just finding those people who have those same characteristics as you and that you can be able to help them. So now the ad's not going to be in French or Spanish or anything like that, but it just shows who they've, it shows what their language is. And you can see here we've brought this down to 62,000 people and 1 to 3,600 a day and 20 to 86 link clicks. Now that is probably pretty decent. But if you wanted to narrow it down even more, say that in an area there is a country club or there is or maybe your YMCA is very, very popular and it has a lot of families there and they all, their kids are in soccer and so forth like that. You can actually type in here and choose companies that they like, or you can choose, so like for instance, say Target. Women like Target. So you could choose this, everybody who likes Target. You could choose Parent Magazine. You could choose, you can also click here and choose by demographics, interests, and behaviors. Now demographics, you can choose education, you can choose life events, you can choose parents. We're going to stay out of politics. I will tell you, this does kind of weird stuff here and it gets a little bit annoying. So, for instance, life events, you've got people who are they're newly engaged. So maybe they're going to want to be looking to buy a house, or maybe somebody who's a newlywed, 3 to 6 months, that might be a good person. You wouldn't want to choose somebody who's recently moved because they're not likely going to buy anytime soon. Then you can choose parents here. So you can choose all parents, or you can actually narrow it down. And again, that's going to be up to you and how you're tending to market yourself. If you are marketing maybe to first-time home buyers, you may want to choose people who have younger children because that's where they are in their life. But you can make that decision on how you want to do that. You can also choose their work. Now, some people like working with certain industries or job titles. Like for instance, teachers are great people to work with. So you can choose based upon their job title. You can also choose people who are who like the NEA, the National Educators Association, or something like that. So you can choose that. Interest. Say that area is real big on soccer. You can choose a sport. There's just a lot of different things you can choose based upon what might draw somebody to that area. So those are a lot of the options there. And I'm just not going to choose any at this point because I'm going to leave this like it is. But if you're trying to really maybe find buyers for a particular area or particular property in a large metropolitan area, you can narrow that down more. I do want to show you here you can exclude people. And a lot of times those you may want to exclude would be realtors. You don't want realtors necessarily to see your your ads. Now, maybe you do, but you may really choose to put that out to specific agents that you interact with, but this may be something you want to not put there. So that's just an idea. Then I'm going to breeze through that, take a good bit of time, and I appreciate you hanging in there. This is where you can really get the most for your money, because you are narrowing your audience. This here, don't worry about connection type. You can save this audience as an audience you want to use again in the future. Automatic placements has to do with where the ads are going to show up. When you're starting, you probably want to leave it there. But as you go, you may decide that if you're dealing with more younger people, then you may want most of your ads to go to the mobile news feed. But if you're dealing with 50s and up, you may want yours to stay in the desktop feed. So that's just some changes you can make there. Now let's talk about budget for a minute, because this can be a little confusing. So you can set a daily budget, and you can have an ad running continuously, or you can have a set budget and have a start and end date. So you can say, you're going to spend a total of this amount over this amount of time. So it sort of depends on, you don't want to have, when you're talking about listings, you probably don't want to run an ad for a long period of time, because hopefully it's going to sell. But so I would usually use a daily budget. But I also want to explain something else about budgets, because Facebook, they do weird, quirky things, and you just never know. I'm going to pop my face back over here for a second. So if you have an ad going and it's doing really well, but then say you ran it, you have a 7-day ad and you have $70. Let's just pick that. So let's say it's doing great, and you get to day 5, and let's say you did a lifetime budget of $70. Let's say you get to around day 4 and you've already used $50 or $55 of your budget. Facebook's going to be like, whoa, we need to put on the brakes, because they're going to run out of money before the end of their time. And so I don't like that, but that's what tends to happen. People are like, my ad was doing so good, and then it just stopped. It just tanked. You want to, and then the other thing too is, if you have, it just seems like anytime you have that end limit to it, or that budget limit to it, even if you're doing really great, it's not going to continue to build and stay at that level until boom, you've hit your limit. It's going to taper off. So what I have found is that you can instead do it for a daily budget and have it run continuously, and put a pretty decent price on this. You're going to have to decide what works for you, and then have it run continuously, but you need to be checking it, because if it gets too high, you don't want it to get too high. So you want to check it, and you want to turn it off. If you list the house, or if you sell the house, or if an event is coming to an end or whatever, you want to turn it off. But to me, it works better if you have it ongoing, and it doesn't have that necessarily that stop time to it, or that cutoff, because it will continue to hopefully keep going like this, and you get the most benefit out of it. Just know that your spending limit that you placed on the credit card on your account, that will help you here in case, oh my God, it just took off. And say you're trying to really sell a listing, and you put in $50 a day, and then you go for 3 days, and it actually has used up all that budget, because sometimes it won't use it all, especially at the beginning when it's gearing up and the algorithm is trying to get right. So you want to keep a watch of it, especially as you're learning it. As you learn it, you'll be able to step away from it. And you can download the Ads Manager on your phone, so you can watch it as you're going. Just don't drive yourself crazy trying to see what's happening on it, because it does take some time. And do know this, You can't create an ad and run it for one day for $5. It takes, you may get something on it, but you're not going to get the full effect. You're not going to see what the outcome could be, because it's not going to, it doesn't have time for the, Facebook's trying to figure out who's the best to see it and all that. So the best way to do this, you at least want to have 7 days. And then if you are doing a more long-term exposure, trying to, get listings or get buyers in general, not necessarily for a specific house, then you want to find an ad that works and then keep using it. So, and just keep it ongoing. All right, let me just zoom myself back down again. All right, so that's budgeting. We're going to continue. Oh, and I want to point out too, over here on the left-hand side, this also shows that 3 parts of the of a campaign. You've got the objective, the ad set, and then now we've gone down to the ad. It will not let you, when you first jump in, it won't let you skip this stuff and go over here. You can't do that. So so we are in we're down in the actual ad. We're going to actually create the ad. I forgot what I called that. Something listing. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. And then let me just show you this real quick. If you use an existing post, say you did have a post that was doing really, really well, and you wanted to boost it, but you wanted the better benefit of it, you can click here and actually you can choose a post that you've done. So that is an option. All right, and here you're going to choose the Facebook page that it's associated with. I have a couple, so here, and then your Facebook is, of course, owns Instagram, and Instagram ads are good. I don't have it set up. I'm not great with Instagram. If you have a younger audience, if you have a younger clientele, I hope you do use Instagram and you want to use this as well. And you can actually set up an ad to just run on Instagram. You would choose that on previous screen. So let's look here at the different options. I'm just going to run through this really quick. Most people do a single image, and that's what we're going to do this time. I thought I had a brand new ad. It's weird. It's got an old ad of mine that we're going to get rid of. So you can do carousel, which is multiple images. You can do single image. You can do a video. You can do a slideshow, and that's something that you actually can kind of create in Facebook with a couple of pictures, and you can add some subtitles at the bottom. You can add a little bit of their music. So that's an option. And then I'm not sure what a collection is. That wasn't there like a little while ago. That's weird. Okay. I don't worry about this full screen experience. I'm going to click to single image because I want to show you how I'm going to show you to create this. Okay. To create this listing. All right. So we're going to I already have a library of images listed, but you can choose and upload some. Okay. Now, sometimes you may need to change your size of your picture. Over here, it'll tell you what the recommended pixels are. And so just know that that's there. And sometimes it may, tell you need to fix it. The other thing I want to make sure you understand too is that Facebook does not like text on the images. They do not, and they have a rule that's 20% or less. And if you start approaching that 20%, they may approve it, but they may tell you that the ads are not going to reach as many people as you had hoped for because it has too much text. So just know that. You can also use a different image for Instagram, especially if you want, because their ratios are different. Okay, so for here, we're going to talk about the link where you're sending them to. You're sending them to your website. You can also use a Facebook event. That's something different. We're not going to get to that right now. So let's talk first of all. Here I've got my house, and you can see These are the different things that it'll show you, and it tells you right here, this is the display URL, this is the headline, this is the description. So, and then the text is up here at the top. So I already started working on, I had some information. Hold on, let me see if it's going to let me get up there. Why will it go away? Oh, phooey. Hold on 2 seconds. I closed Evernote, and I actually needed to keep that open. Well, here it comes. Okay. So I just want to show you something here really quick. If you look here, you've got a paragraph. I took this from the listing page, and this listing is actually a friend of mine's. She has it as a paragraph here. I took it and turned it into bullet points because I feel like bullet points work a whole lot better, and I think they read a lot better on a post. So let me show here. Oops. My headline text is going to be this. And you see how this added this up here? And then the URL that I want it to go to is going to be this one here. It's the listing page. So we're going to post that in there. And so it actually put the address. It didn't do that for me before. That's pretty cool. Put the address, and it put the realtor's website, and then also put the MLS number. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, headline here. I did the beautiful home. Sometimes you have to play around because you don't know actually what is going to show up over there. So let me see here. Oh, I knew where I was going to do this at. This information. So you want this information to be at the top of the ad. So watch here. And I'm going to tell you right now, I like space. Space works better in ads. You don't want it to be cluttered. So, and it's okay that this shows more. Now, I had bullet points and it didn't take them. So I'm going to just put little dash marks here. Know that you can also use emojis, not in here when you're doing it, but you can copy and paste them. I'm not going to worry about that right now. This is, I thought it was going to do the, it's just being a little finicky. Sorry about this, guys. Master domain. Okay. So we've got this here. This is what it's looking like. Looks pretty good so far, right? So when you also, where it says learn more, you can tell it that's where it's going to take you to this link when they click on that. Now this down here is when it's in the news feed, this is what will show up. It won't always show up. It depends on where the ad is. Let me just test something here. I apologize. You know, sometimes you just got to play around with it a little bit, and it's okay. See if that changes anything there. No, that's okay to have that there. So headline. I'm testing. Hold on one second, guys. Test. Where did that show up? Okay. So it took away what I had put there. So I can either delete that. And I'm going to say this address is 40 Ivy Court. Covington, Georgia. And forgive me because I'm not going to get super creative right now. I just want you to understand the parameters behind it. Okay, news link feed description there. You see where it says that. Okay, this is optional. I'm going to take this out because you see how it's showing there. I don't like the way that looks. So I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to bring this back over here because that does need it, because that's where when they click it, it's going to take them to. Okay, so we've got the address. We've got trying to find, see, I always get confused about what's what there. Okay, see details. Lovely home on all right, so you can't click there and see what it does, what it says. I'm going to review it and I want to show you something else. Let me point this out where it says Facebook Pixel. Unless you have your own website where you can edit HTML and add code in, don't worry about that. That's not anything you can do anything with, although it's a great thing that we can't, there's nothing we can do with that. You can also, you can see here a couple of things. You want to see how your ad looks. Okay, why is it not? Let me scroll up. There we go. Scroll up here. You can, right here, it's showing it. This is on the mobile news feed. Then you can click here. This is what it will look like on a desktop. And then those are the two main ones. Oh, but here's sponsored, an instant article. A lot of these I've never even seen. A desktop right column. You see those, you know, when you're on your desktop. This is in Marketplace. You know what? I don't like the way that does, but I think it looks much better as bullet points instead of a paragraph. This is on Instagram. That's pretty cool. Insta Stories. I don't know. And I don't know what these are. Most of these we don't use at all. That looks pretty cool. Okay. And that's what it would look like on Messenger if you were to do Messenger ad. That's pretty cool too. Okay. The other thing you can do, before you save it, you can get it to send you a notification to Facebook. What I like to do is actually, once you click, once you think you've got it right, and you want to confirm it, and just know that once you confirm it, it's not going to like show up on Facebook that minute. It has to be approved. So you can confirm here. And so I went ahead and click confirm because I want to get the full preview of it, and I'm going to show you how that does in a minute. And let me just say this too. As a real estate agent, you have to accept Facebook's terms and conditions for advertising, and your first ad you post, it may come up and you may have a little error here. And it may tell you you need to go accept the terms and conditions. Once you do that, it should approve your ad and you never have to do it again. Another reason you may get, an ad may not get approved is because you have too much text on the picture. You know, you may do a great open house flyer, but you can't use that flyer as an ad picture because it's got too much text on it. So you'll have to take that down and put the text in the ad itself and then use a great picture for that. Another thing is you have to be careful. Like Facebook is picky. Like you can say, if you were to say, are you stressed out about buying a new house? They don't like that. They don't want to hear you and something that you are implying their mental health. It's crazy, I know. You need to say something about buying a new house can be stressful. You're not targeting at that person. And so just know that if you do come up with something like, that's a problem, you can try to reword it. But the first two things I said are reasons why they typically will disprove it. Once you're in this page, again, here we got campaign, ad set, ads. So I'm going to click on over to here because I want to, where'd it go? Hold on a minute. I want to edit the ad. And then when you click edit, and you can do this if you have to fix anything or anything like that, you can click here and edit it. So, and you're in a little bit different format here, but you're in the campaign here. Your ad set is where you would go to change your targeting or anything of that sort. And then the actual ad itself would take you here if you needed to edit something. And while we're speaking of that, let me just say this. If you ever boost a post, you can't edit anything in it. If you choose a post already here and edit it, it won't let you edit it. But if you have an ad that you create, and you can come back and change, you can change it. Now, there are some things about changing it that can mess up your algorithm that you've already got set, but just know that you can. But you can't edit a boosted post, and you can't edit a post that you have added to an ad here. What I wanted to show you here is once you've actually saved it, you can click here, and you can send a notification to your phone so you can see what it looks like. And then you can also see it as a post. Let's see what it looks like on the desktop news feed. So it'll actually bring it up here, and it'll just roll it into your news feed so you can see what it looks like. So here's our ad, and I think it looks pretty good. And then when you click here, it brings up all the other information that you have put in. And then if they click on this, it takes them to the page that we put as the link, and that would be her page on her website with the property details. So that's a great way to do that. So this is one idea. This is one way you can just do a specific listing that you are trying to sell. Now, I also want to say that you can do an ad for an event. I'm not going to get into that and show you how to do it, but you can. So that is another thing that you can if you have an open house coming. Now, I want to show you something else, and I've already created this because actually, let me show you how to do this here. We're going to go back to that same ad that we just were looking at. Oh, it's not letting me do it there. Hold on. Here. And then edit. Okay. So we have one picture that we added there, but you can actually add multiple pictures. And let me just show you. Well, it doesn't give you a good way to go back and change it there. All right, I'll show you in the other way that we're going to do it. So let me close this one, and then I'm going to go to another ad that I've already created. And this one took a little bit of time, so I did not want to wait and make you watch me go through every single part of it, because it would have taken a minute. All right, I'm going to turn off that ad because I don't want it running. I don't know where my other one went. Why did it? Let me try to scroll down here and see if I can't find it. Nope. No, I just, okay, here it is. Gonna edit this one. So let's say that you want to sell some houses. I got that. And they're not necessarily your listings. Think of some ways you can come up with a group of several houses, whether they are all within the same price range, whether they are all new houses, you know, that are within a certain price range. I'm going to show you something in a minute where somebody did a grouping of single level homes, or maybe it's homes in a certain subdivision, but something that would kind of tie these together, you know, in this area or this school district even. I mean, you could do that. That would be awesome. So what I've done with this one is I have an ad that is a carousel ad. And I showed you, if you remember, but I showed you over there where you could choose the carousel ad. And then what it brings up is at the top of the carousel ad, you have your text. And then that's what's going to show up here at the top. And you see how I went in Facebook, I did a little emoji, and then I came and posted it over here. I love using emojis in ads. I think they're great. I think they get people's attention. So definitely consider doing that. Now, these carousel ads, they're cards. They're called cards here. And you can do as many as 10 maybe. 6 I know, but you maybe can do 10. And so you would add each one's. And another really cool thing is Facebook will eventually show the best performing card. They'll make it first. So even if you have this one is 1, if number 3 is performing better and gets more attention, they'll show 3 first. But to begin with, you can put what order you want them in. So what I've done here in this gray section here, I am creating information for this one image right here. So you can see how it's lined out. And so what I have added is the image. I have added this here, the headline. I added the address, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. I have added additional information. It's got a 3-car workshop, and then the destination URL for where they're going to go when they click that. So you're going to do that for each one of these. And so that is listing 1. And these are all in a certain subdivision in Oxford, Georgia. And then here I have added an additional house. Let me click over here so you can see the difference. I don't know why sometimes on the preview it's not. Oh, let me switch to desktop. And then I think you can click over. So you can see here this please forget, I just grabbed some houses out of this subdivision. I don't believe that all of these are the best pictures. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But just for the purpose of this demonstration, I wanted to show you. All right, so the second house, I've got that image, the address, and then I've got finished rec room with a bar, and then the third one is actually a pretty crummy picture and bad cropping, but I just want to just get the idea. It's in the same subdivision, so all that there. So you put the information for each home and their subsequent links in the gray part. Then the other part here is this at the top is going to show at the top of the whole ad, and then the part at the bottom, this doesn't necessarily show. It has to do with the different types of ads. Sometimes they'll show in other formats. So you do have to add that there. You do want to add that there, but it's not necessarily showing up here. So then you're going to save it and wait for it to be set up. Now let me just show you, because since I went ahead and did this, I went ahead and previewed it. So this is what that ad looks like. So I've got here beautiful, well-maintained homes in Highlands Plantation, Oxford, Georgia. Call or message me today. Got a phone number there. Then, like I showed you, we've got the first house, and you can, let me just show you. If I click there, it's going to take you to the home with the full details. And then here again, you're going to scroll over here to the second one, and then the third one. And it's a great way to give somebody a couple of properties there to look at, and really, it's more than just a house. It's a great way to build some interest. So, you know, depending on your area, what your market is, you could say, beautiful selection of homes under $250,000, or, you know, something to that effect. Anything that you can think of that might draw attention for that. So that is that type of ad, and I hope that you will put that to effect, because I think it's a great option, and I think it looks really, really nice. Now I'm just going to show you really quickly. Oh, and you'll get a message from Facebook when your ad is approved, so you'll know that it's been approved, and you can actually click on it and then go see it. So if you're on your phone or whatever, you can see that. Now I'm going to just show you some ideas for some other ads that you can do, and some of them may or may not be exactly right, but I just want you to get some ideas. So here's one here. It's a coming soon. Fantastic new listing at The Ranch. Evidently, The Ranch is a well-known subdivision in that area. So it's got information here. Know that this is bordering on that 20%, but it still is a great option. I like that. I like that, that banner look. Here's one that I was mentioning that was done here in Atlanta, and need to move to a single-story home. And she's put her contact information down here, but now what she's done here is her link is actually a search that she created in her, you know, via MLS, via her site, of homes that fit this criteria. And so when they click that link, it's going to take them to that search page where she has compiled all those. So that's another option you can do, to actually take them to a collection of homes there. So that's an option. This is a little different. I don't love the little house, but what they're appealing to here is the lifestyle. Walk, bike, or transit everywhere. Convenient, car-free urban lifestyle. Talks about down here, it's modern, efficient, energy efficient. It's close to town. You know, you can walk and all that. So, and this is a little video ad, but I just thought that was really cool, because you're appealing to a lifestyle. And again, like another thought is, depending on the ad, if you're not necessarily listing for, if you're not necessarily running an ad for a home, say you're running something for, you know, first-time home buyers, instead of having a house front and center, have a house in the background and have mom, dad, and kids playing out on the yard. Because what you're doing is you're selling that lifestyle that they want. So consider that too. That's an option, something like that. Here's one that somebody did based on, this is multiple pictures for the same home. And I was going to try to show you that, but then I really couldn't. So say that the little blue house that I did, we could have added additional pictures and then put even more information on each one of these. And you don't necessarily have to have a link for that. So, but I think that's really cool, especially if you've got a really nice home. That's a great way to have a preview of it all right there for them to see on Facebook. Here, this is pretty cool too. You know, a just sold ad. You know, you have to be careful in doing this. You can't say you sold it if you didn't sell it. Now, if it's your brokerage and you can make that terminology more like we sold it, you know, our company sold this or whatever, you can do that. But this is, you know, we talk about doing a just sold postcard. This is a great way to do that as well. And if you can narrow down more by dropping the pin, you can get even closer. So that's a great way to do that too. This is a great, I love this ad. I think this is just great because it's just big and clear, but this is for home values. And this is a great thing to use for a lead ad, so I'll probably bring this one back up again. But if you're not listing a specific property, pick a great picture to go on there, because it does make a big difference. And pictures are everything, I'm telling you. When I was looking through those different homes, because my friend who's a realtor, she gets a professional photographer, but then I had to choose a home that didn't have professional photography, and that was not hers, and it was awful. So, all right, I hope that this has been helpful to you. It's been a lot of information, I know. I hope you're not too concerned with, not scared about running an ad anymore. And you know what, let me just show you something here so that you'll have an idea. And I didn't even think about this before. Let me show you what this means. So you'll come in here and you'll look at an ad that you've got running, and it'll tell you, depending on what your objective was, it will say link clicks or post engagement, and then it'll tell you what the reach was, and then how many impressions, which means how many times the ad was seen by those people, and then what the cost per your result was, the amount that you spent, and then it shows you when it ends. Relevancy score is important. I'm not going to dig into that right now. Frequency is how many times somebody saw it. Unique link clicks. I have a hard time saying that. So this gives you that information, but some of the most important ones right here is you want how many people clicked and how much did it cost you per click. Now, obviously, you're going to eventually want to track this and the cost per result, per click. Obviously, a click is not a sale, and it's not even necessarily a lead. But you want to watch that, because depending on how you're doing it, and when you're fixing your targeting and so forth, you want this price to go down if possible, as long as it's being productive. So optimizing it and understanding this will come. But just know that's where you'll see your results. But hopefully what you'll start getting is phone calls and messages of people wanting to see the house that you have advertised. So I hope that this has been helpful to you. I know it's a lot to cover. I hope that you feel confident that you can do this now. I want to see ads that you're doing. And maybe the way that we can do this is the email address that that you'll be getting your emails from for this recording and any follow-up emails. Maybe you can reply with a snippet of your ad, or you can also go to my Facebook page and send me a message there with a snippet of your ad. I'd love to see what you put together, see how it's worked for you. Do stay in touch. There'll be some links for my Facebook group. I'd love to have you come join us. It is technically a new agents group, but we do have agents on there who are, even 5 years or more, because they're restarting their career or they're really diving in. So we'd love to have any of you join us. And I look forward to talking to you soon, and I'll be scheduling the next class before too terribly long. Thanks, and have a great day.